Unit 1, Part 7. In this part, I'm going to go over the addition and subtraction in numbers in scientific notation. So when I am either adding or subtracting numbers in scientific notation, my exponents must be the same. So I have to modify the numbers so I can actually add or subtract them together. Let's look at an example of addition. Okay, so in subtraction, again, the exponents, they have to be the same before I can actually subtract them. So let's I have. Okay, so I have 8.3 times 10. I made a mistake here. This is supposed to say negative, not plus. Minus 9.1 times 10 to the 6. So you can see over here the exponents are different. This is 6 and this is 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them both 7. And by doing that, I would actually move the decimal place one place to the left, would give me 0.91 times 10 to the 7th. I subtract 0.91 from 8.3, and that gives me 7.39 times 10 to the 7th. Okay, but, actually no buts, that's good. Okay, let's take a look at on the previous page. So in subtraction, I have 8.3 times 10 to the 7th. And again, this should be negative, not positive. 9.1 times 10 to the 6th. And we saw when we did that, we need to move the decimal place over. And we did it one place to the left to make my 6 to a 7. And I have 8 times 10 to the 7th minus 0.91 times 10 to the 7th. I subtract the 0.91 from 8.3 and I get 7.3. Now I'm going to do one. So if I have 5 times 10 to the 4th plus 5 times 10 to the 4th, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the coefficients. So 5 plus 5 equals 10. All right, now I'm going to write out scientific notation. 10 times 10 to the 4th. However, if you remember, my coefficients, they have to be 1 or greater, but less than 10. So I can't keep it this way. What I have to do is actually move the decimal place. So I'm going to move it one place to the left. And when I do that, I have to add 1, because I moved this one place, 1 to 4, which is going to make 5. So I'm going to have 1.0 times 10 to the 5th as my number. Okay. Now let's try another example. Okay. Let me just get rid of this. How about if I have, let's say 9 times 10 to the 4th plus 4 times 10 to the 3rd. Okay, these exponents are not the same. So I can either make them both 4 or both 3. So in this case, why don't we make them both 4? Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is I have to make this 3, 4, and I need to add one more to it. So what I can do is I can move the decimal place on the 4 one place to the left, and by doing so, then I would add 1 to the 3. So it's going to be 9 times 10 to 4th plus 0.4 times 10 to the 4th. Now I'm ready to add them together. So I can add the 9 plus the 0.4, which is going to give me 9.4. Okay. times 10 to the fourth. And that's going to be my number. Now, let's look at, now first I'm going to erase this. Let's look at division. I mean subtraction, not division, subtraction. An example. Let's say I have 8 times 10 to the fifth, and I'm going to subtract from that 4 times 10 to the fourth. We'll keep it similar. All right, and I can either make them both 5 or 4 for an exponent. So let's make it 5. Okay, in order to make this 5, I need to move the decimal place one place to the left, and when I move it one place to the left, I need to add 1 to my exponent. So what I'm going to get for numbers is 8 times 10 to the fifth minus 0.4 times 10 to the fifth. Okay, now what I can do is I can subtract the coefficients. So 8 minus 0.4, and that's going to give me 7.6. Okay, times 10 to the fifth. Okay, and let's look at the examples. Let's do one more example. All right, let me erase this. Okay, let's take a look at the example. More example. And I'm going to erase this. Okay. Let's say I have 1 times 10 to the fourth minus 5 times 10 to the third. Okay. Now, if you look, I have 4 and 3. I can't have the 3 and the 4 exponents different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them both 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this decimal place here. I'm going to move it one place to the left. And by doing that, I need to add 1 to the exponent, which is going to give me 4. And I'm going to have 1 times 10 to the fourth minus 0.5 times 10 to the fourth. So I'm going to have 1, and I'm going to subtract 0.5 from it. So 1 minus 0.5 gives me 0.5. Okay, so it was 0.5 times 10 to the fourth. Now I can't have this number less than 1. So I'm going to have to change the exponent. So I'm going to move the decimal place one place to the right. If I move it one place to the right, I need to subtract 1 from the 4. And I'm going to have 5 times 10 to the third, which is going to be my answer. Okay? And that's the end of this unit. And I'll be talking about these in the live session. If you have any questions, we can actually go over some in the live session.